Hey everybody, this is Greg, and we're going to continue our emergency preparedness plan procedures. In the last video, I talked about how to do a hazard assessment. Now what we're going to do is take the hazard assessment and take it into action, which is going to be talking about what to do and to prepare for specific disasters or emergencies, and then what to do when they actually occur. So, for instance, you'll take like the hazard assessment that you did for tornadoes. When you sat there and did your hazard assessment, you sat there and basically said, okay, is my area prone to tornadoes? And if you said yes, you'll mark that down. Then you'll say where in the proximity of the areas has my city or my county or even where am I in my state prone to a tornado. You will mark that down. And then you would take it and be like, okay, where do I go for a tornado? Do I have a basement? If I don't have a basement, do I have a interior closet or in a bathroom without windows? If I don't have any of that, where would I go? Would I go to a nearby resident or go to a friend's house or to a relative's house or even just a nearby building that's stable enough without windows or even a basement? So you start listing all of that, and again, that's what you do with your hazard assessment. Now you take that and you start putting together a like a what I call a action plan or a response preparedness plan. And what you do now is you start putting that. So we're going to take a look at tornadoes and preparedness. Some of the things that you want to put in is procedures or just kind of uh, just mental notes of what to do when a watch occurs. That's the first thing is favorable. It's basically what a watch is. It's your area is favorable for tornado development. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It may not even be in your area. It could be close to the area. There are some times where a tornado watch has been issued and it doesn't happen or it hasn't been issued at all. That's what I meant to say, and it still occurs. So that's why they always say be prepared if a tornado is either a tornado watch is affecting your area or in a nearby area. But anyway, a watch again means tornado can happen or occur close or in the watch area. So be prepared for that. And how do we be prepared for that? And those are things that you want to list. And some of the ideas that I'll give out is, do you have a basement? Again, if not, where would I go? Again, interior closet, a bathroom without windows or interior room, a nearby building, a resident that might be next door, your neighbor, a friend's house, a relative's house. Then the next thing you'll look at is look at the limbs outside your yard, front, back, sides. Are they large enough that they could break off and be thrown, um, through a window or through a wall or come down, or trees that are uprooted? If you find those are hazards, you want to take the opportunity to, um, take care of those trees, get them out, or cut down the branches. Make sure no loose objects are in the yard. For instance, toys, um, bicycles, trash cans, signs. If you run a business, make sure your sandwich signs are up. If you have any chairs or tables, benches, flowers, that kind of thing. Anything that could be like blown in the wind or could actually be used as a projectile. That means, an object being thrown somewhere that it can go against a wall or a window. Another thing that you can prepare yourself is make sure you have an emergency supply kit. Do you have emergency supply kit? If not, make up one. And we'll make another video of that, what emergency supply kit is and what all is in detail for the supply kit. Another thing that you want to have is make sure you definitely, and I talk about this all the time, communication. And make sure you have a weather radio, updated apps. You want to make sure you have that. And the apps I'm talking about is like the National Weather Service, your local county, state emergency management agency, the Red Cross, your local television stations, radio stations, those you want on your app, in addition to a battery powered radio, a weather radio, even your television. But you got to remember, if it does happen, a tornado does happen or occurs in your area, and just know that cell phone towers might be gone, your television stations, your radio stations will be gone as well. So you always want to have some sort of a backup so you know what's going out in the outside world when you're in shelter. And the big thing I tell people is keep an eye out in the sky, know what to look for. And you want to put that in your preparedness plan as well. And these are like what I call the preps, the prep part of your emergency plan before the response. And those things could be, watch for the color of the sky. Normally, when a tornado comes or gets close to the area, it gets really, really still. And the color of the sky will change from a normal blue or sunny skies will turn kind of cloudiness, and then it will turn into this kind of greenish kind of look, or even you'll start seeing clouds actually rotating. If you see that, then you know there is a possibility. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but there's a possibility that the tornado can develop. And those are things that you see from your own eyes. Another thing is a lot of people say a tornado comes close, it sounds like a freight train coming. I don't know how many times I've heard that. And if you hear that, definitely go to shelter. So again, know these things before you go. And I recommend taking, you don't have to be a weather spotter. There are people that really want to be weather spotters. They want to, track the sky. They want to track the damage that does occur and, notify the National Weather Service, and that's what a weather spotter is. And if you don't want to do that, but you can still go to these national weather, severe weather, tornado spotter classes, and you can learn a lot about tornadoes, the different types of tornadoes, the wind speed, the different EF scales, and what they all mean. And that's another way you can prepare yourself as well. And you can bring your children along to learn that. So it's open to anybody. It's usually the classes usually occur before the spring, early spring, and right before the severe weather tornado season. So, again, you might want to check your emergency management, your local fire department, the National Weather Service itself. And sometimes if you go on to weather.gov, and go into your area, they'll have a list of the classes that are offered in your area. So you might want to check that. And that usually occurs like might be late February, March, April area. So and it happens every year. And I recommend this. I've taken that class at least twice, and I've learned a lot. So that's a great preparedness. And they'll talk a little bit more what I'm talking about now about how to prepare and your family, even your business. And again, I'm focusing just in general here. Take these in consideration, no matter if it's you and your family at home or if it's in your business, because I'm actually doing both. I know sometimes I'll categorize home and business, and sometimes I'll just say it at random, but I mean both of them as well. So those are the preparedness, and you could go on and on and on, have like pages and pages of it, which is great. Again, your emergency plan, cannot stress this enough, is a living document. So you're always going to add, subtract from your plan. So if you live in Illinois like I do, in the Chicago area, tornadoes can happen, but they're not as frequent and they're not as damaging. We can get more of the damaging winds from a storm, but we don't actually have a tornado. Now, if you lived in Iowa, like out in the country of Iowa, you're more prone to tornadoes. So you're going to know more, you're going to learn more about what to do in those situations. So some of the areas will see tornadoes more than other areas. Sometimes they're more intense than other areas. So again, that's all that preparedness. And it doesn't matter, again, if it affects your home or your business, you want to be prepared. The next thing I want to talk about is response. Now, since you know what to do in preparation and the watch, now we're going to switch to the warning. What do you do for a warning? And the warning is when tornadoes have been spotted by the eyes or on radar. Usually, the tornado siren will go off when it's been spotted. That's when you immediately go down to the basement, immediately go to your interior closet or your interior bathroom or wherever you're going. You got a little bit of time. Sometimes you don't have much time. It's quick and it's action. Take your pet. Make sure if you have elderly or physically challenged friends, families, neighbors that are with you, bring them down and help them to your shelter area. I cannot stress that enough. Make sure you have your emergency kit with you. And most importantly, your apps on your phone, your battery powered radio, your weather radio, even a television. I know some of that might go out on you, but at least you have it. Make sure you got enough snacks and food, water down there because you might be down there for a while until this thing passes. And make sure you have a flashlight. Those are things that are in an emergency kit, and I'll explain again, like I said, in another video. And then make sure you bring your pets again, your family down there, and you just stay low. Some people I've heard do different things. Some people will just sit in chairs and just, wait it out. Some people actually will go and put mattresses, if they have mattresses down in the basement, blankets over them. If you got a hard hat, put that on. Some people will go a little bit further than others. It's whatever you want to do to keep yourself safe. I look at it this way: if you hear things going on, like the wind or things upstairs are rattling, I would probably dive in and start, doing that stuff, putting mattresses, putting blankets over my head, because it's probably sounding like your upper half of your house is going to start ripping off, or our high winds are going to throw things around. Um, so again, make sure you are protected. I cannot stress that enough. And then wait it out for a while. Usually the warning usually takes up to about an hour. In some areas, depending with sirens, I know in my area, because I've been under tornado warnings, it will go off every 15 minutes. So you'll hear it for a few minutes, like about a minute or two. They don't go off. They don't pop back on again, go off, and they'll do that until the end of the warning. Once you hear the tornado siren stop or you hear it all clear, then you can go upstairs and start getting out of shelter. And if you did have a tornado in your area, again, make sure you are careful. One thing I do recommend, and I do recommend this, I know a lot of people don't. When you hear that tornado siren going off and you hear, oh my gosh, there's a tornado coming, we run downstairs, run to our shelters. A lot of us forget about, oh, wait a minute, I forgot to put my shoes on. I don't recommend putting sandals on. I don't recommend putting flip flops on. I recommend putting tennis shoes, boots, because God forbid there is a tornado that hit your area. You're going to see all this debris, and if you're wearing flip-flops, they're going to fall off, trying to climb out of your shelter area, and there's debris and all that, and you're trapped, and you have the wrong shoes. You're going to twist your ankle. You're going to step on something that you're going to really regret, and it's going to go through your foot. So I try to recommend people either have a pair of shoes, boots down to the basement, and put them on, or have them on when you get down there. And then that way your feet are safe. And again, this is just a quick thing on preparedness and action. And if you check out my Facebook page, and I'll have all this information down in the comments, I'll give you a little bit more information of what to do. And this is just basic stuff. That's why we're doing, I write things up and then I describe it in voice here, because sometimes it's hard to talk about every little thing when you're writing and versus when you're telling this. So it's kind of different. So that's why I'm doing both. But again, always, 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 if you don't know what to do, you can research it on the internet, contact your American Red Cross, contact your emergency management agency, and your fire department. They have all that information. So I hope that this gives you a little bit of what to do from, hazard assessment, what to do for the preparedness section to the response section. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about in another video, I'll talk about quick evacuations and meeting places and stuff like that. So again, thank you all, and I hope you enjoyed this video, so stay tuned for the next one.